Most exciting session is just before lunch, I'm told. But nobody agrees. Yeah. Excellent. So I thought, to make it interesting, let me tell you a little bit of a story, because that is the only thing that will hold you back here from going out there. And so as I was preparing the presentation, the biggest demand driver we all believe is AI. Right? So let me contribute to that demand. So I went and asked AI, I want to make an interesting presentation at this Tech Capital Forum. It is just before lunch. Nobody is interested, but they will go through it. What should I do? So he said, Manoj, tell a story. Okay, I said, fine. So I said, what is a good story to tell? What can connect between AI and the theme associated with digital infrastructure and growth? I said, hey, there are lots of great books. Why didn't you talk about The Great Gatsby? So how many of you saw this movie? Is only one? I'm sure everybody's seen this movie. And it's a movie that was set in 1918, 1920. If you read the book, it was one of the most exciting eras. Growth was immense. It was the time when Ford Motor Company was talking about, we'll make cars so cheap that every American can own a car. The stock markets were doing well. I'm told this flapper style dressing and dancing was very iconic of that era. And music, and there's also an era of prohibition at that time. Right? So it really encapsulated when this movie was made, or when this book was written in the period of time. And if you look at the key characters in the movie, it's Jay Gatsby, and he's created this, so it is about the American dream, right? You can accomplish anything and everything. And if you think about Jay Gatsby, he has created a persona which is larger than life. He's lied a lot in terms of creating that persona. We don't even know what is true, what is not true. He has this love for Daisy, and he believes he can win her back. And you think about everything that we talk about today, we believe AI can solve all the problems. And it is true, potentially. There's the dream, the potential, the aspiration that this can make life, the biggest challenges facing humanity can be solved through AI. So I said, okay, let's use that narrative and say, if we were to apply it for businesses, and I'm more of a telecom analyst, so I'll take a telecom view to it. How should telecom companies view this opportunity associated with AI? And it can apply to every enterprise, etc. I said, if you're looking at AI and want to try and understand the demand drivers for many of you in this room, I said, so the AI can be, the three dimensions of how you can imagine the opportunity with AI is in three dimensions. The first one, I call it AI ready. That means, you become AI ready. You start using tools that are out there, Microsoft Copilot. These are easy ways to go about architecting using AI. So I will talk more about that. The second is you intrinsically become AI. That means I am natively AI. I think natively AI. My business is built natively as an AI business. And when I think like that, suddenly now a new set of opportunities start coming into play. I'm able to unlock new dimensions of growth for my business. And then the third dimension, I say, is AI reimagined. That means, I should think completely differently about my business, because there's no limiting factor anymore. It's not about efficiency, productivity. It's about reimagining the possibilities that are out there. Right? So I said, let's pick up a simple example of what you and I are very used to, and maybe that relates very easily to all of us, is, let's say, automotive industry. Right? And if you take the automotive industry and you say, I want to be AI ready, it's like the Volvo cars, the BMW cars, you've got parking assist, some form of AI is embedded in it, life becomes easy, you little bit of more productivity for the driver, less accidents in parking, and more convenience. And you say AI native, okay, autonomous vehicle, right? That means the car is natively designed as an AI native car. Therefore, it changes the dimensions of the business. Now suddenly I have a new set of opportunity, and Tesla has been talking, and we are working aggressively towards that vision and aspiration and ambition. Right? Then the third dimension, you say, AI reimagined, and Elon Musk says, I'm not a car company, I'm going to sell robots to everybody. I'm going to sell, the robot will be same price as a car. So in $15,000 to $20,000, every human being will have a robot, and you don't need specialized robots, you need a general purpose robot, because that's what he believes that the single biggest opportunity may be potentially out there for Tesla in the near term. So with these three dimensions, I said, let's apply it to business, and we've got to be practical about how you and I can deploy it in our businesses moving forward. So when I think about, the first one is being AI ready. And many companies across the spectrum are doing it, which is saying, the first step is create a private GPT environment, and let's have, all of our employees, this is an example of a large bank, and it applies to telcos as well. Create a private environment, use ChatGPT, and I'm in a secure, safe, compliant environment to explode and use the opportunity. Next is I could say, biggest area for opportunity is really coding and development. Everybody says it's between 30 to 40% productivity. They have reported in their annual reports, they are seeing that kind of productivity. So you see auto generation of codes, etc., driving incredible productivity. Then the other deployment has been in call centers where call summarization, every single call is now summarized. It used to not be the case. You have, agents would sit down and actually manually enter the summary after every call, and they would write it based on their interpretation. Now all of that has gone away, and you can now unlock tremendous insights into the customer and do things. And then people have built other tools like Buddy, your employee Buddy, or Document AI for procurement, for business requirement documents, you name it. Right? So this is now table stakes. Everybody has to do it. If you're not doing it, means you're not efficient. You're losing. You're missing opportunity. Right? So what is it to be AI native? How does a telco become AI native? How do we intrinsically design our processes that we are AI native? Right? So for example, now what SK Telecom has done is they said we got to not just give call summarization capability and features to our call center agents, we've got to make it really, we've got to rethink that entire process. That means I'm engaging with the customer, and the entire gamut of services for the customer, the lifestyle services, will now be served through this the chat assistant, which now understands more about me as a human being, personalizes the service for me, and creates unique experiences for me to leverage and fully engage and build on SK Telecom's set of offerings, right? Over a period of time, it also becomes almost like your digital twin. They enable you to write your own name, make it your own avatar, and personalize it, right? So you can see an evolution of how natively, by being AI native, SK Telecom is now rethinking it. So now you take that to the network side of it and say, what are the possibilities from a network standpoint that we can start enabling, right? So, if we are all, we are in Jakarta and in Indonesia, one of the toughest places to get good real network experience. Every Indonesian at the minimum has 2 SIM cards, and they flip 1 SIM card every 60 days based on who offers them the cheapest rate, right? That's how it is, churn is that high. Why? Because nobody can assure and give you a great service experience. And so how can you reimagine that network experience? Can you have self-healing networks based on where more people are, more traffic is? Can you, even potentially even do real-time spectrum efficiency planning, etc. associated with it? Then, one of the things that we all are now dealing with on a constant basis is dealing with scam and fraud, right? who else better than a telco to, it would be cool if when the call comes in, it is authenticated prior to it comes to me, that it is from a credible source. It is really DBS Bank and not somebody sitting in remote part of India, right? And making that possible. And so we are seeing now, Airtel made that announcement recently, not fully there, but the aspiration and ambition. You can see how that when tightly integrated, maybe as consumers we'll start paying a little bit more premium for services. And then you will have automated network design, slicing, etc., as potential avenues in how it will evolve. So then comes to the question which I think was addressed a little earlier. Should telcos build their own LLMs? Is that an opportunity that we should do? Is it something we should pursue more aggressively? Right? So think about it. Actually, a telco is maybe in the best possible position. I'm making an argument in favor. I'm not saying that they are the best executors of the idea, but they are in a reasonably good position to be able to do it. Because a typical large language model has about 10 billion parameters, and you take a telco in Indonesia, let's say 100 million customers, with over 30 interactions a day, you have 4,500 billion parameters. Right? So you have a wealth of knowledge and intelligence and information. Provided you can package it correctly, you can do something about it, which we have all failed miserably in the last 2 decades. We've been good at talking about it, but not good at executing it. Right? So is that an opportunity? And McKinsey has said it's between $380 billion to $600 billion opportunity. So that brings us to that, what does AI reimagined mean for the telco? And can a telco truly do it in the truest sense, right? I must, traditionally telcos have been very slow off the ground, but this time it seems different. It seems they are making some good progress in it. So from being a connectivity provider, can we be that intelligence infrastructure provider? Do we have an opportunity to be that intelligence infrastructure provider to the governments for smart city, to public safety, to the banks, with all this intelligence, even Indonesia today has got, more TikTok accounts than banking accounts, right? And imagine the amount of, and can we make banking that easy? Can we make it as safe? Can you make it as secure? Can that intelligence be used to power a new set of services? Because no bank has got as many customers as any telco in this country. So the opportunity is there, the intelligence is there, is the ability to execute really there to make that possible, right? So can you be not just a digital ecosystem, can you orchestrate that ecosystem by making things available to participants in the ecosystem that insight and information is uniquely yours or you have it. In the past we struggled because we couldn't organize data correctly, etc. But now with Gen AI, organizing structured and unstructured data is a lot more easy. Maybe I have a better chance to do it because technology is making it possible for us to do it, right? Can we become a city and industry intelligence platforms to enable variety of use cases across the spectrum of industries? And so that's exactly what Indosat is trying to do with their natural language model. They said, Sahabat AI, at least the narrative is that, hey, it is a sovereign AI. I will collect local intelligence. There are over 700 local languages. Can I create an experience that is uniquely local, uniquely national, and with the scale that we have, with that 4,500 billion parameters, if we can execute it, maybe we can have a role to play. And it may serve as a great foundational use case, particularly for sectors that we talk about, which is banking, healthcare, government. This could be the initial people who may want to start using and building on this foundational model if this narrative around sovereignty starts picking greater momentum. Right? So with that insight, I said, if you think about the AI opportunity, and you can plot this in similar ways for every other industry. So within the cross-section of each of these, you can create use cases for the customer, you can create TechCo use cases based on the insight and information that you uniquely have, and you can drive. And the best case study, in my opinion, globally now, or the ambition and the aspiration of that transformation is SK Telecom. Right? So at the top layer, they talk about the consumer services, and the .A that I talked about earlier was their consumer offering. The second layer is their tech business, where they're building that infrastructure platform to sell the TechCo services to other enterprises. And at the bottom layer is they are saying, hey, we will also design and our own chips. We will have data centers. We'll build all of that. And I think they're the front runners in really redefining what a telco can be. This is from their annual report. So you can see at the foundational layer, they say, we will be an AI infrastructure company. So they have changed themselves from saying, we are not a telco anymore. We are reimagining ourselves. We are an AI infrastructure company. Then we build the platform to enable the enterprise use cases, and then on top of it is the consumer services that they are building to deliver those services. So if you can start reimagining your business, then suddenly a whole new set of possibilities. Telco, which is growing at maybe 1% or 2% per year now, you can see what they are saying is they are going to grow their revenues to about $18 billion, over the span of next 4 years. And their valuation, they believe they can take it up by over 3-folds to close to $30 billion. So that's actually what I really wanted to share, to set some context for, as we start thinking about AI and enabling businesses and enterprises to start using AI, then, the possibilities that, the forward-thinking companies, companies that are reimagining AI, how are they thinking, They are thinking, like Tesla is saying, I will have an AI assistant for everything. If today we are having text to text, can we text to anything, text to any outcomes possible, right? Because with the agentic AI now, those possibilities will start coming into play. And then you can have digital twins, be it in banking, be it in consumer services, etc. So coming back to how we started the story, we started with, Jay Gatsby, right? He did have this aspiration that he can conquer the world. He can achieve anything and everything that is out there, right? But he really doesn't achieve it in his movie. So the question maybe to you guys to ponder and think about is, how do we set the right expectation and aspiration for our organization, for our business, on what AI can do for us? Because the ability to combine our ability to visualize to our ability to execute is pretty much what will determine our success over the course of the next maybe 5 years or so. So thank you. I hope I've given you enough order to think for the lunch, and look forward to having conversations with you guys. Have a great rest of the conference.